What up, Dokkanners? Today we're going to be talking about the Super Dragon Ball Heroes crossover special Dragonstone 2. This is the second iteration. That is why the Dragonstone 2 is there, because this started last year. This is not free to play. This is very much a pay to play thing. You get this along with a 100 Dragonstone pack in the Pilaf's Trove right now from the 21st of November until the 4th of December. You can buy this up to 2 times, which means you can have 2 special Dragonstones, which means you can pick up 2 SSRs from the Baba shop. But like I said, this is only with the 100 Dragonstone pack. So if you're a dolphin, if you're a moderate spender, if you're a whale, then you guys will probably be picking this up, because I know a lot of people like to just buy the discount stones, which is understandable. If you're a low spending player, this is probably not going to be something that you're going to want to pick up because the price point is pretty high. And in terms of savings, you are getting a little bit more bang for your buck when you do buy this, as opposed to the usual 93 stones. You're getting 7 more stones, and you're also getting a free SSR. But the beauty of that, I think that people often forget, is that you get to choose which SSR you're getting. And when you're doing these guaranteed featured SSR summons with the general pool being the Dragon Ball Heroes character, if you're trying to pick one particular character, like for example, if you're trying to get Super Saiyan 3 Xeno Goku, that's like trying to find a needle in a haystack, and an ever expanding haystack, because it's only going to get more and more difficult to pick which one Heroes character you can want from this list. So that's why this actual ability to choose manually is very useful. So I think that also gives it some inherent value. So, this is a pretty decent pack. It's a pretty decent deal. So anyway, let's go through some of my top picks for this list. I'm not going to say that any unit is bad, because every unit here is good or bad in their own way. It all depends on what you're looking for. If you're looking for a particular unit to round out your team, then maybe you have a different opinion than I do. Maybe you have certain priorities for what mechanics are more relevant or more pertinent to certain events. So I'm going to try to be as general as possible. Primarily, my goal here is to show you the characters that I think can function well in and out of Dragon Ball Heroes. And then I've also listed a couple of characters that are very much tied to Dragon Ball Heroes related characters, but are still pretty decent. And if you don't have them, it could be useful to pick them up. So it all depends on who you are. Feel free to share your own thoughts in the comments down below, because the more information that we can give other tunes out there, the more informed they can be, and the better off they will be in terms of making this decision. So my opinions are not the be all end all. You guys have your own thoughts, and I'd love to see those. So let's just start by talking about the first 7 EZA characters here. These are the first generation EZA characters from 2017, and these guys got their EZAs last year. I do want to mention these guys are also available in the Blue Coin shop right now. So if you're somebody who has summoned a lot on Blue Coin banners, whether it's for category summons, if you did, my condolences. If you summon on the Ritual Kai summons, or perhaps you summoned a lot on the Rising Dragon Carnival banners before we got the Carnival coin, things like that, or the support banners, then chances are you probably have a decent number of blue coins. You can use those to buy the first generation Dragon Ball Heroes characters in the coin shop now. This was never a thing before. This is now a thing, which means next year, the next set of EZAs will likely also join the roster. So this will also continue to expand. My only one gripe with this is that I kind of wish that they dropped the cost to maybe like 200 or 150. I feel like 300 is a little too expensive, but that's besides the point. So if you guys want to spare yourselves of having to use that special stone on one of the first generation EZAs, then you can do so by getting it from the Baba coin or the Blue Coin shop. So that is up to you. But still, that being said, these are my top picks, and I got to start by talking about Janem Baby. I think of all of these characters, Janem Baby is the best choice, simply because you literally don't need any other Dragon Ball Heroes characters on your team. You don't even need to put this guy on the proper team with his proper categories. If you are looking for a stall, this is a very good stall tactic. This unit has an inherently high chance to dodge, and then every time he does dodge, he gains an additional 12% dodge within that same turn with each dodge executed. So every attack that he's able to dodge, he gets even dodgier, which is Ultra Instinct times amazing, right? This is what you want on some of the challenging events that you can't otherwise beat. You know how sometimes when people take on Super Battle Roads or EZAs or things like that, and they're fighting a Pure Saiyan's opponent, they'll always bring Caulifla? No matter what team they're bringing, Caulifla is your stall tactic. That's the same way that you can apply this unit. This guy got me through a very difficult Artificial Lifeforms run against Cell Max. This guy can get you through a lot of different events simply because of this dodge and ever-growing dodge ability on each turn. Plus, you get a nice little heal to boot. You don't need to execute anything else on this unit. You don't need to worry about the super attack. You don't need to worry about the links, none of that. Because in terms of synergy, you're not going to quite find it with some of your favorite characters necessarily, unless you do like these types of characters. So he's not going to be the most like synergized character with your team, but he will do what he's meant to do, and he is not dependent on other Dragon Ball Heroes characters to be there. So this is my #1 pick, all things considered, for this. In terms of choosing it from the special stone or from the blue coins, that's up to you, but I like Janem Baby the most. Outside of Janem Baby, some other characters that I like that can function in and out of Dragon Ball Heroes are going to be the Xeno Goku, Xeno Vegeta, the Supreme Kai of Time, and the Super Saiyan 3 Trunks. I'm going to start with the Xeno Goku Vegeta. All throughout last year, in every single one of my showcases, the #1 thing that I would see in comments is, dude, I am missing that 40% support for Vegeta's family. Dude, I am missing that 40% support for Goku's family. He is so good. I need him. This unit is very good. Both of these characters are really good because they do two things. #1, they stack twice as well, so they greatly raise attack and defense permanently. One lowers attack, which is good for Super Battle Road and certain starting rounds of other events. And then we've got one that greatly raises attack and defense and has a high chance to stun, which is great for Super Battle Road and prelims on other events. So these units can give a 40% boost to some of your favorite characters on Goku's family, Vegeta's family, and they can stack pretty decently themselves. If you give them more additionals, they can stack multiple times. These units have been some of my favorite units to run on showcases and events in general when I need some more support to bolster my characters. These two units have been fantastic, so I can't recommend them enough. But just remember, they don't have damage reduction, they don't have dodge, they don't have any of that. They are here to support and they are here to stack, but they do a very good job of it. And if you look at the units that they link well with, it's basically every one of your favorite Vegeta characters or every one of your favorite Goku characters. And then, you know, some of the Vegeta ones in there as well. So these two units I think are very good in and out of Dragon Ball Heroes. I use them more outside of Heroes than I do in Dragon Ball Heroes teams. So those are pretty much like my top 3 picks. And then some of the other ones that I have here, these guys are also good. Supreme Kai of Time is an insanely good support. She gives all types Ki plus 3 40% support. She also can, at a 70% rate, give you an extra 12% team support for defense, 12% team support for offense, and she can heal you at the end of every single turn if she receives an attack. I forget how much she heals by, actually. Let me look it up. She just got her ECA, so let's see what that looks like. She gives you a 12% heal at the end of the turn when an attack was received. She doesn't have damage reduction, so she's strictly a support character, but she can support everybody very, very well. So she's good. So she functions both in and out. Super Saiyan 3 Trunks has actually been a really, really good character on long form events. This guy has a high chance to guard, and he disables enemy guard, and he has a 9-turn temporary boosting mechanic. He can raise his attack and defense by 30% for 9 turns. No other Dragon Ball Heroes character, to my knowledge, can do it at this level, which means if you keep padding on the stats once or even twice a turn for 9 turns, this guy's regulated stat line is going to be so much higher than you would ever imagine. He's going to be very, very good. And then, of course, the only issue would be the high chance to guard, but it's a 50% chance to guard. And if you do get that guard with all of these stats, he is a very good tank. So I do like this character a lot. Some people might feel differently on this one, but I think that he is a fantastic character to also run on teams outside of Dragon Ball Heroes. I run him a lot on the Legendary Goku event, Legendary Vegeta event, so that's something that I would keep my eye on. But these two characters, Janem Baby and Super Saiyan 3 Trunks, again, I remind you, are right now available in the Blue Coin shop. Super Saiyan 3 Xeno Goku is the best Super Saiyan 3 character out there now, aside from the Dokkan Fest Super Saiyan 2, Super Saiyan 3, because of what he's capable of with guards and damage reduction. This guy can guard all attacks all the time. Damage reduction he gets initial boost of 15% on top of his 7% per Dragon Ball Heroes character ally on the team. So when you're running this guy on a Dragon Ball Heroes team, he is going to be a wall that you cannot take down. If you're running this guy on, let's say, a Super Saiyan 3 team, you're not going to necessarily have the full Dragon Ball Heroes level damage reduction, unless, of course, you are bringing other Dragon Ball Heroes characters on your Super Saiyan 3 team, but you'll still have at least 7%, and you'll have this 15% damage reduction for the first couple of turns. So for something like Super Saiyan 3 Super Battle Road, the first few turns you can sort out your rotations, and then at the start of every single fight, you can start out strong with this unit. This guy can also give a 70% chance to stun. He can greatly raise attack. I wish that they gave him defense here. If they did, this guy would have probably been my #1 pick. but because he doesn't have the defense boost on his super attack, I still rate him very high, but I wouldn't recommend him as much, but it's all dependent on what you need him for. If you guys have not done Super Saiyan 3 Super Battle Road, pick this guy up. He will make your Super Saiyan 3 life a lot easier. And of course, if you got more heroes characters, that will make him even better. Then other characters here that I've listed, I got Sealess. Sealess is strictly here because of hearts. If you did summon for hearts, Sealess is actually a very good unit to run alongside the hearts. Hearts is able to give you full guard in the first slot. This is also intel courtesy of my buddy Ningen. We were talking about this yesterday, and he was explaining to me how if you can launch multiple supers with Sealess, with a hearts rotation at max links, you can get upwards of almost 1,000,000 defense, which is just insane to think about. But yeah, if you combine this guy with Sealess, they do share some nice links. They share 4 links: Big Bad Bosses, Cold Judgment, Brainiacs. The culmination of these 3 links at level 10, that gives you a lot. Look at that. Defense plus 25, defense plus 25, attack and defense plus 15. Those are some nice links that you get together with those 2 characters. So if you have hearts, I would say Sealess would be good. So there's one that I wanted to mention. These Great Saiyaman 3 and the Golden Cooler, both of these units are dependent on other characters. The Great Saiyaman 3 does depend heavily on time travelers, but if you do have a full time travelers team, this guy can put up some stupid numbers. Attack and defense plus 30 times 7. That's a whole lot of numbers to add on top of this, and then to add on top of the damage reduction from normal attacks of 30% and the ability to counter. He is going to be a fantastic option against Broly. I mentioned this before, and I'll say it again. He is very good for that, but he is heavily dependent on time travelers. And then the Golden Cooler is heavily dependent on Dragon Ball Heroes characters, because you need that to gain the additional opportunities to launch super attacks. You need 3 super attacks to get full damage reduction on any given turn. You got to have, see this, reduces damage C by 10% within the same turn with each super attack performed up to 30. So he is dependent, but if you do get him, he's pretty great. So he's another great one. And then I think there's one more here, the Super Saiyan 4 Gohan. Super Saiyan 4 Gohan is a very good counter for Cell Max, because he gives you 50% damage reduction when in the presence of 2 or more Giant A power category allies. Only 2 of them, and they don't have to be Dragon Ball heroes. You just have to bring 2 other Giant A powers. If you summon on the 7-year anniversary, if you happen to have the 7-year LRs, they will be useful here. If you have other Super Saiyan 4 characters outside of that, you can run them as well, and you can get this guy at 50% damage reduction and have him lead point against Cell Max. You could have him run on the first rotation, and then you could have his SSR run on the second rotation. Granted, he doesn't have a temporary stacking effect in his super attack, but he also possesses a 40% damage reduction, but he does need 4 other Giant A power characters. So Gohan at both levels is actually very, very good, but it just depends on if you have that sort of a team. So those are my picks. If you guys want to screen capture this, go ahead. These are some of the units that I would prefer. Other units here are also good, don't get me wrong. I did not highlight the Super Saiyan 4 Vegito simply because if he is going to be receiving an EZA, we would be right back at the same point next year. So there is no point to actually purchasing this unit now with these precious stones when he's not going to get that EZA until next year. He is a crossover lead, so if you are missing a crossover leader, you could pick him up if you want. He does link well because he has, you know, some synergy with the Super Saiyan 4s, you know, because he's kind of the same Super Saiyan 4. So if you want to pick him up, you can. Cumber is good. The fusions are good. If you're looking for more Super Saiyan 3 characters to round out your Super Saiyan 3 category, the Gotenks is great. The Gohanks and the Gotenks Adult, these 2 units are good with their TUR and their SSR. Both of them are good. So there's a lot of great choices here, but hopefully this helps you narrow down your options and it gives you an easier time to select which ones you want. Like I said, my top pick above all else is Janem Baby. I love that character so much. But there you have it. Guys, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like down below. Let me know in the comments if there are any characters that I am heavily sleeping on or I didn't talk about, or if there's any units that you personally would select. Why would you not? Let me know in the comments down below. Also, be sure to subscribe for more dope content in the future and click the notification bell so that you let YouTube know you want to see more of my stuff. Do it. Thanks again. Stay tuned, and remember to Dokkan responsibly.